Well, hello, air signs. We're going to start with Libra and we're going to talk about your next 3 months during the spring equinox energy that's going to be pushing forward your spring plans and then hopefully into summer. Okay, so one of the first interesting things that you're getting here, and if you might have some Pisces in your chart, if you don't, you might want to check out their reading also because they also had Archangel Raphael coming in from a different deck, but to start out the reading as well. So there's a lot of healing taking place for you during this time. Okay, and I love that's a beautiful energy. Raphael heals not only physical health issues, but also heart healing, okay, from a broken heart. For many reasons. That could be grief, that could be relationships that have ended. But there's a lot of healing coming up for you, Libras, and it looks like that you've been doing a lot of work, a lot of self-work, and really weeding through a lot of pain, not just from recent events, but things from the past that were triggered as well. Okay, so that looks like something that's ending for you as you go towards the end of March, which will be really, I'm sure, a blessing for you, and I'm sure you'll be really happy to hear that. So you're getting the elephant spirit, and that is learn from the past. Okay, and there's a couple things here. There's definitely a couple things here in your reading that I'm going to discuss. But the most important thing is that you're taking the information, you're taking the lessons that were learned, you're understanding it. And no, I don't mean I was hurt in love, so I'll never love again. I'm not talking about things like that. I'm talking about like the discovery that is made about yourself in those relationships, as relationships are like a mirror. Whether they're toxic or not, you will have learned something about yourself during that. And it's really important that you take that with you into the next phase because you do have something really interesting on the horizon. Okay? Sorry, I feel a little froggy here. All right, so let's, and not that you can actually see these, but before we go into the month by month, let's address the elephant in the room, right? That's kind of funny. All right, so one of the first things that you have here energetically is discovery, and this is red, and we're talking about your root chakra. This is one of your lower chakras. I am safe, I have enough, and there's a lot that you're learning about yourself, and part of that is how strong you really are. Okay, so whether you yourself didn't realize that or people around you were really good at convincing you that you didn't have the strength to stand up and do things on your own, you're moving right through that in the spring equinox energy into a place that you deserve to be. Okay, learning a lot about yourself this year, definitely, and the year just started. There is a separation taking place, and this could happen in a couple different ways. This is your rune card, which is very universal. So you might be being separated from a family you knew, a relationship that you knew, and this is coming up a lot too, a religious belief or tradition that you had spent your life connecting with that doesn't feel relevant to you anymore, or you don't identify with anymore. That may be specific for some people and not all. Okay, but there was a lot of pain here, and before I go into the rest of it, I am gonna pop over to March quickly because we're talking about the Three of Swords, but we have that in reverse. So when we have this upright, this is heartbreak and pain and grief. Okay, when we have that in reverse, it means that Archangel Raphael is here for a reason because we are starting to heal. Okay, so by the end of March, you will have healed something really deep within yourself. Okay, it doesn't mean you're not going to hear a song or have a feeling or ever cry about it again. Okay, it means that the brunt of your healing work is done and you can feel free to move forward. The underlying energy of that as well, which is in reverse, which I love that's coming out of as well, is the Five of Swords, and that's inner conflict. It could be outer conflict as well, and we're getting rid of that. So these are tricky energies that, yes, we learn a lot from, but we're also happy to see them leave, and I'm very happy for you that that's the energy that's moving out for you. Okay, now what's coming in for you, and I really love this, okay, you have the Phoenix. Okay, so rising from the ashes, and that is such a testament of strength because more recently when I had to make a lot of changes in my life, and I want to say this was around, maybe this was August, September, July, August, September, okay, I kept getting this a lot as a spirit animal. As a matter of fact, my daughter had drawn a blue phoenix, which I didn't know existed, and they do, and I invite you to look that up because that's very interesting as well, the journey with the blue phoenix. So new phase, rekindle, renew, transformation, growth, and a changed mind. So it really looks like you are learning from their past. It really looks like you've discovered a lot about yourself that has been holding you back, and I love that. So here's fun. Here's what's fun. Okay, you're getting kisses. Unconditionally loving, giving, and receiving affection, falling in love. If you're already in a relationship, it could be the renewal of one. If the relationship is toxic, you have something better waiting for you on the other side. So just keep that in mind, because as we heal from heartbreak, and that heartbreak could have been where that was coming from for you, in April, you have kisses and you have the Queen of Cups. And the Queen of Cups is being able to, she's the nurturer. She's the one that has her heart on her sleeve. She's the one that is the mother energy. She is the one who loves so much unconditionally. Some would say she's a little bit naive, right? Especially if you're in that Queen of Swords energy from the separation. However, you're moving out. You're moving into a place where part of that healing, part of that next chapter of healing is not just feeling like you're healed from the relationship and your heart is no longer broken. It's being able to open up and give that a chance again. Okay? And that's what I see for you in April. So this doesn't have to be a specific romantic relationship. This could be somebody who was trying to have a child for a long time and after many, many disappointments decided to do this again. Or this could be somebody who maybe wrote a book and nobody bought the book, and 10 years go by and you write another book and boom, it's a hit. Okay? So take it how it resonates for you, but be very open to what comes your way in October. It is a reward for the hard work and sacrifice that you had done on yourself in this time. Okay? All right, we have firefighter, which is fun because that may be who some of you are meeting. That could be a profession of yours, or just listen to this because it doesn't have to be specifically firefighter. I dedicate my life to saving others. I stand always at the ready so others may live in safety. Okay, this could be you or somebody that you're connected to. Okay, but what an honor, what a beautiful energy. And also risk. I am willing to let go of my old ideas about security and embrace the universal plan for me. And this is absolutely what's needed as you go into April. If you're going to go into April and have that success and have that new chapter, you're going to need to be able to take that risk. Okay, so work on that if that's an issue for you. And May we have, this is in reverse because it hasn't happened yet, Ace of Wands, okay? And this is a beautiful, beautiful energy of inspiration, okay? And this is no work and social activities. This is like a muse kind of energy. It could be a sexual energy. It could be creative energy. For some of you, it could be a pregnancy energy as well. So be careful if that's not your intention. And lastly, we have Greet the Dawn, okay? So you're definitely being invited in the spring to just sweep up whatever healing needed to be done and the end of March, and be ready because come April and May, you have a lot of blessings that are coming in for you. And you're going to need the courage to move forward into those blessings, okay, without reliving the past, just understanding why the past brought you where it did. That kind of looks like a phoenix in general. That's how I would picture it, you know, if it wasn't blue. Good luck. Okay, and happy birthday, Geminis. We are going to get into a little bit of an extended reading for you because we're not just dealing with the spring equinox. We're going to go a little bit beyond any other advice that you would need to know starting your year out. Okay, it's not a full year reading, obviously. This is a group reading as well, so some of it may resonate, some of it may not. I encourage you to go ahead and make an appointment for a private reading if you so choose. Oh, otherwise, we're going to get into your reading. So 44, you're getting a woman with a heart. I'm skipping around yours a little bit because there's definitely a theme here that I want to start out with when it comes to love going into your reading, okay? There's an energy of an expansion coming in as well, but this is unconditional love, okay? So this could be coming from you. This could be somebody that you're connected to, but you definitely have the spirit of universal love coming in with you. This is the Queen of Cups in the tarot, essentially, from the energetic deck that you're getting to start. So what a beautiful energy of support and love from the universe on this journey for you. You're getting Dove Spirit. Be peace. Number 21, if you're a numbers person, this is your spirit animal at this point in time. So, and we'll get into it a little bit more because you do have show justice here. So it's really important that you're speaking your truth, but you're doing it gently. And it's really important that you're being fair and showing justice and being able to lead, which we'll also get to. But to rise above anything petty, especially if you're being promoted from within a situation that you've had coworkers as part of your team that you're now in charge of. I don't know why that's coming through specifically. That may be for one of you, not all of you, because there's a lot of love and family in this reading as well. But there is some talk a little bit towards the end, and we'll get into, of some changes that may be happening for you around May. Okay? All right, we have more cards for you because it is your birth month, so... Well, it's getting there. We will be there before the next 3-month reading. All right, so underlying energy that you have here is the Magician. And I love that you have it upright because that is of the best intentions. And it's talking about your powers of manifestation being really strong at this time. Okay, so if you are a visual person, create a vision board. If you are an intention person, write in a journal. Figure it out, what you want, and be really careful how you're speaking, not just to yourself, but out into the universe, all right? Because you have a high manifesting power at this time, and you don't want to accidentally draw something to yourself that wasn't the intention, okay? Energetically, we're getting expansion, all right? So there is a huge growth period coming in for you, especially as you start your next trip around the sun. You're coming in with so much more knowledge than you had last year, and it's really interesting how a lot of it is actually happening quickly during the spring months. It's almost like Spirit's wrapping up the last year for you, so you can see it in kind of like, you know how they do that time hop on Facebook, how it's like, here's your memories of the last year, and here's what to look at. It's almost like this is being done for you by Spirit, and they're like, okay, hurry up and look at all this. We've made all these changes. This is what's coming down the pike. Be ready, okay? Because this year is going to be, or this time period, this March, April, May, is going to have a lot to do with the self. That's a rune card that you're getting. Being really focused on who you are and what it is that you want, and being and understanding that if that has changed from last year to this year, from 3 months ago to this time period, that's absolutely okay, and it's expected. Okay, maybe it might be a little bit of shock to you, but it's not too much of a shock to Spirit. Okay, so go with it, believe that you have the confidence, and again, just be peace, be peace. So you have leader. I lead with strength, courage, and compassion, remembering that the role of a universal leader is to serve. Okay, and some of you, again, this may be a role that you already have. It may be a promotion that you're getting within your career. You could be a leader within the community, within your spiritual journey. However that resonates to you, just remember to be leading by example always, and to be honest and to be true. Because now more than ever, and thank goodness, right, we're having the ability to see beyond the veil of what was presented to us and what was expected of us over centuries, really. So if you feel differently about it, if you're going in a different direction, don't feel bad about that. You're on time. You're absolutely on time for the next journey, okay? So we have adaptability. I let go and allow the universe to take the next step, moving me closer to my destiny. See? We have from the angels, show justice. 14 if you're a numbers person, okay? And as in this picture, as in anything else, justice is blind, right? Justice isn't swayed by, okay, I don't know why we keep talking about coworkers. Something might come up for you, career related. It could be a coworker that you really have an affinity for, who you have a deep relationship with. However, you might be called to be put in a situation where you have to tell them that their actions were not correct. Okay, and it might, again, I feel like a lot about spring is going to surprise you, but I think you're going to like it because generally, Geminis can be very fluid. You are expansive thinkers. So the fact that you have expansion here is not so much of a surprise to me, okay? But just be really sure that you're being fair in all of your dealings and all of your judgments, and you're not playing favorites, and even if you're not playing favorites, just make sure that it doesn't look that way, all right? There's just something to do with that. All right, love, and then we'll get into it. We have hammer and heart with a key. So hammer could be recognizing some sabotage, or you could be rebuilding a situation, being persistent and working on it, okay? Be aware of the self-sabotage, though. And Heart with a Key. Welcoming love, meeting the one, open your heart, getting together, making things perfect. All right, so the fact that we have Heart with a Key here, we started out with the woman holding a heart, bodes really well for romantic relationships during the spring period of time. All right, you also have in the tarot cards, you're starting out with the Four of Wands, which is stability, okay? You also have the Ten of Cups, which is happy family, however it resonates for you. It doesn't have to be children, okay? So let's talk about that. Let's go over to your tarot cards again. And we have, let me pull these down because I did a little extra on you. All right, so March, we're dealing with some stability here, and I love that for you, okay? And this is, so Wands deals with work and social activities. So if things have been a little chaotic March, they're kind of coming back in. You're going to have some more time to yourself. You're going to have more time to create strategies. You're going to want to make sure that you're spending time with people who lift up your spirits that can inspire you for the next act. You have in April, you have the Empress, all right? So we're dealing with a lot of mother energy here. Some of you, if your mother has crossed over on the other side, this is definitely a nod that she is around you and watching out for you at this time. If not, we're dealing with, this is more expansion. This is an Empress energy. And no, you don't have to be a woman to be the Empress. But the Empress is all of the queens combined. She creates, she births a new life, she births new ideas, all right? She almost looks identical to this expansion card. And because you have the kicker that I always have when I have pregnancy here, I have to say to you, if you do not want to become pregnant or do not want to make somebody else pregnant, be very careful during the spring months because you have so much expansion here. You have so much mothering and Empress energy. And then my telltale all the time is adding the Ace of Wands to that, okay? So you might be creating something new. You might be birthing a new life, but you might actually be birthing a new life. So congratulations if that's your goal, and just be careful if it's not. Okay, but going back to the work energy, which I feel a lot for Geminis, is this is dealing with an expansion. This could be an expansion of the company that you own, an expansion of your role as your title, those kind of things that are coming in for you. Now, May. And this is, I pulled more cards on May even before I went back to pull cards on other ones. And I'll tell you why. Because when this shows up in a reading, I never like to see this without having a little bit more of a conversation about it, okay? Looks worse than it is. Let's take a look at this Ten of Swords. Ten of Swords is the end of a painful cycle. Sometimes you can feel betrayed, hence the swords in the back. But if you look on the horizon here, there's like the sun's coming up over here. Like it can't get any worse is the lesson here. You're at the 10. 10s end cycles. You're at the very, very end of it. And this might be painful, or it might not even be painful for you anymore. Because you know, sometimes when you see something coming so long, you're already resigned to the fact that it's going to happen. So that might be coming in for you. But I pulled some cards on it, so let's talk about it. This feels career related for some of you, okay? And the reason being is we have the Seven of Pentacles here, and she's deciding if she would like to take all of the work that she's done, you know, put her heart and soul into, put it into this basket and move forward with it in another direction where she can be appreciated or recognized, or if she's going to let it grow where it is. So what I feel like is this Ten of Swords represents a promotion you didn't get, an issue that you need to deal with, something that kind of comes up as a surprise for you, but all is not lost because essentially after that comes the Ace of Wands. So whatever happens during this time period, there is an unfairness about it. That's why I think you have this Show Justice card. So you may have to speak up on another's behalf. You may be having this on your own. Be peaceful. Remember who you are. But this may happen in May and put you on a completely different direction, because the Ace of Wands is a gift. It's a gift of inspiration. It's a gift of creative energy. So whatever happens that closes the door on something you were working on is meant to happen to free you to be creation, to get this gift. So just be aware of that. You have a lot of changes coming up. You are going to be making a lot of choices, okay? And those choices are going to bring more balance back into your life. So these are not bad things, okay? Some of the ways that they're going to come about will not make you very happy. I'm not going to lie. But that unhappiness is very short-lived compared to what is going to come from it. Out of all of your cards, you don't have many negative ones at all. That's what I mean when you see this Ten of Swords in the middle of all this happiness and abundance and expansion. It's really just saying the way that they did things was shitty, but it gave you the freedom to walk away without guilt towards your own needs or towards a new idea or a new opportunity. Okay, if that makes sense. All right, we're dealing with happy family energy too. I love this. 10s do end cycles, okay? So just because the 10 is ending the cycle doesn't mean the happy family ends. It means it could be ascending to a next level. So really beautiful energy coming in for you on the home front and romantically, okay? Keep working on it. You have unless it's toxic. If it's toxic, forget about it. You have a 2 of Pentacles, but you have it in reverse, right? So this is you not really being able to get a good balance. This is April, all right? So why I feel like when you get into May and these things happen to switch it up, you're not going to be that upset about it because this has been really hard to balance in the first place. You might be dealing with somebody, like if we're talking about this on the career front, you might have been doing 2 roles in the company until they replace someone. There's something to do with that. If we're talking about this in a different situation where it's in your home life and your health, and not being able to create balance, the opportunity will be there for it. You need to take off your plate, which is not necessary to be on your plate, and check your people pleasing at the door. I say this with love and not judgment. I have the same issue. Okay. For me, it has to do with more impulsive thinking, but get some things into balance. It's okay to be a little selfish at this time. Be kind, but you're moving forward onto a new path. Here's the other 2. Okay. This is the 2 of Wands. You will hit a crossroads. You will have a choice to make. So, I don't really want to leave you on that without one more card. Okay, let's see. Where should we pull the card from? Let's just do energy. Let's see what kind of energy with that choice. And this doesn't have to, the last things that we talked about don't actually have to be happening March, April, and May. They just might be coming from the energies that it might be beginning. It might be laying the groundwork. Yeah. Renewal. Beautiful. Transformation energy, happiness, abundance, red. Okay, but this is the root chakra feeling really good. Whatever changes you're going to make over the next 3 to 6 months are going to be really important for you and the growth of the rest of your year. Okay? So pay attention as the observer. Make sure that you're being fair in all of your dealings and the opportunity is coming your way from seeds that you already planted. Good luck and happy birthday. Okay, Aquarius. If you did not get your extended reading when I did the winter solstice, yours was in there with your birthday month being in the winter solstice month. So if you haven't checked that out, you can absolutely go back and do that and see what, if anything, has resonated that has already transpired. That being said, let's go into your spring equinox. We're going to look at March, April, and May. So the oracle cards coming out for you right off the bat, I love this. We have Door to Romance, number 33. If you're a numbers person, I love how all these readings have angel numbers in them. Coincidentally, although there are no coincidences, right? So we have the Door to Romance opening up for you in spring, being open to new energy coming in. This doesn't feel like self-love for me, although that's important to receive this. This feels like a person coming in with an interest. So we're going to talk about that. Underlying energy you're getting is the 8 of Swords, and these are some difficult energies to move through. And as you will see as we move through your reading a little bit more and more, you're having reservations about how these things are coming about. And a lot of that has to do with the things that have happened in the past, and we'll talk about that. Because in the 8 of Swords, the underlying energy coming through for you is the fact that if you look at her, her hands are tied, she's blindfolded, and yes, she's surrounded by swords. Her feet are free. So the fact that she's actually trapped is an illusion, okay? And the fact that we're dealing with swords, we talk about the illusions that are made in the mind. Okay, so just be aware of that. From the energy deck, you're getting self-worth, which makes sense, right, with that 8 of Swords. We have this, and it's pointing to the sacral chakra, which deals with your creativity, fertility, sexuality, passions, that kind of a thing. And you look at this card and he's like, can I sit in that chair? No, that chair is not meant for me, okay? But Aquarius, it's absolutely meant for you, okay? So if you've been kind of giving a lot of yourself a lot of negative self-talk, or not taking necessary risks or opportunities that come up for you because of a low self-confidence, take a look about where that's coming from, okay? See if that's within your energy. See if it's an energy that you picked up, but, clear it out. Be aware of it, observe it, but don't allow it to hold you back. Rune card, we're getting possessions, okay? So some of you may be getting rid of a lot of old things and knowing that you need less and less. Obviously if there's sentimental value, obviously if there's things that are important to you, but I think that you're moving out of an energy of things and going into causes, which would be absolutely the Aquarius way, right? So you might find yourself doing some decluttering, some spring cleaning, some purging, and you're absolutely invited to do so because you want to make some room for what's coming in for you. We have face your challenges, and I'm going to bring that out first because we just talked about all of those challenges. Believe me, you don't have a lot more coming. I have one more thing to talk about. But it is saying you have the power to overcome this, and it's time to face your challenges. You cannot put your head in the sand about the things that you already know because you have a lot of opportunity coming up for you, and you're going to need the confidence to be able to just grab onto that and move forward. This isn't just about you. This has to do with the greater good of the collective. Legislator. I work through political, legislative, and lobbying channels to promote harmony among all earth beings. Okay, so you may find yourself getting into this as a career, volunteering, and that sort of thing, as it comes up, because there's been a lot of injustice in the world, obviously, right? All the time. So you might find yourself taking up a particular clause and getting involved, and it's really important that you understand that one voice does matter, okay? So whatever you're doing, big or small, is part of your calling, and it's going to be really important for you at this point in time, which is why you're going to need to have that confidence and understanding, okay, as you come in, because again, this is about the greater good. This is about the collective as a whole for you. That's the Aquarian energy. And patience. I now have faith to wait while the universe works behind the scenes to make my life perfect in every way. You've gotten all the sounds, Aquarius, just so you know. I've been sitting here making this video perfectly quiet, and as I was shuffling your call, the cards, the dogs were barking. As I'm trying to talk to you, the wind chimes are blowing around. Now we have a freaking airplane. Is it all relative? Has your life been kind of chaotic that way? A wind chime, a dog, an airplane. Okay. But I now have the faith to wait while the universe works behind the scenes to make my life perfect in every way. Okay, be patient, understand that you're on the right track here. We also have Turkey Spirit. Give with gratitude and grace. All right, let's look at March. March is coming into a choice that is being made. All right, so upright, this is a crossroads. In reverse, this is having already made the choice what path you want to go on. So some of you have been faced with a choice in March. Some of you already made the choice of what path that you're going to go on. And I think either way you're fine because you have a breakthrough coming here in April. So sometimes you have two choices and one may be better than the other, but it's not necessarily that either one of you would lead you too far away from your immediate destiny, if that makes sense. Okay? And before I get into the rest of it, I want to stop and read your little love cards and turn this down because for some reason this is extremely loud in your reading. Weird. Okay. All right, so you have two love cards, and here's the one that I feel is from the past, all right, or to be able to recognize in the future. When you've dealt with a certain energy in the past, you can find that it's really, really easy to pick that up in the future, especially if you're intuitive. So if you're dealing with somebody who, say, like you had a relationship with somebody who had a drinking problem, you can probably pick that up on a stranger when nobody else could, okay? That's what I'm kind of getting here for you from the Golden Mirror. Self-absorbed, narcissistic, one-sided relationship and love bombing. You're going to recognize this right away, because this is something that you dealt with in the past. This feels to me as a testing before the blessing. Sometimes you do have that one last test before something comes in for you, okay? And this might be creating the breakthrough, but right before that happens, you'll almost see like a deja vu moment, and Spirit says, is she going to do it? Is he going to do it? Is he going to move away from this? Is he going to recognize it? And should you do that, you have paradise waiting. Happiness, expansion, joy, playfulness, oneness, enjoying each other. So you have this door to romance, you have the paradise coming in. Don't be fooled if you have the first one and the first one is a booby prize, because there's another one coming here through that's more deserving, okay? But be very discerning, but not to the point where you're not going to recognize this coming through. Be very discerning when you recognize somebody that you seem like you have recognized before in specific behaviors. You know what's funny too? Sometimes you can see someone who looks like somebody that you know, might have been an ex-husband of a friend of yours. Oh, that's so weird. She looks like Joe, or he looks like Joe, and then you find out he acts just like him too. Isn't that kind of funny? So just pay attention to your intuition about people. Like I said, I do feel like you're going to be faced with, if you haven't already, if this is already a relationship that you've been in before and that's ringing bells for you that way, that was all that there was. Okay? But if you've not experienced this energy, you're going to experience this energy before you get your happiness, okay? So if you're out there dating, what you may find is the first person that you're going out with seems really awesome, and then they start getting red flags all over the place. But then the second person is more your speed and can create happiness. So don't get gun shy from the first one. Just understand it, pay attention, be discerning, and use your wisdom from past issues. April, you have the Tower in reverse, which talks about a breakthrough, okay? This is something that was not on a foundational and steady ground and has to be rebuilt from the ground up. And while that can be exhausting, you can absolutely rebuild it to what you see fit, who you are now. And what that leads to is a lot of creative inspiration in May, okay? So you're going to be doing some self-work March and April. You really are. You're going to be doing a lot of work on yourself. You're going to be recognizing patterns. But come May, you're going to be rewarded for that. You're going to have a door to romance. You're going to be really inspired. You're going to have a lot of reasons to be grateful. Feeling better about yourself, having less to do with things, being less stuck up in your head, and dealing with something with the political environment. So, hey, let me know what that is. I'm absolutely interested. Good luck.